And it's been a while since we've been podcasting. 1 week, lady and gentlemen. Lady and gentlemen. I said lady and gentlemen. I think I have one lady listener, most likely. Look, that's the demographic, okay? That's what we're rocking with. We probably have 3 or 4 women who listen to this podcast. If there's some lady Evanites, that's just something I made up on the fly, the Evanites. If you're out there, shake your tail feathers for me. Okay, don't. I'm a married man. Okay, don't do that. That's the weird thing about sometimes what I do on stage is I say these things that I don't mean, and it comes off weird. I have this thing when an audience is tight. I have this. See, even that sounds weird. It is what it is, though. When an audience is tight, I'll be like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna loosen you up inside. It's a weird little thing, and it comes off creepy, but at the same time, they like it. These little freaks, they like it. I'm going to be honest with you. Well, first of all, welcome. Welcome to the episode, okay? Look, I'm going to show you how the sausage is made. Again, can come across creepy. Record these on Mondays. That's the goal. Every Monday, I drop a new EP on Tuesday. I record it on Monday, drop it Tuesday, okay? And this is the second attempt I had at recording this, but for some reason, the battery on the camera fucking up. I don't know how much time we have together. Okay. So this episode is going to be driven by fate. Whatever the battery left on this camera is, that's how long the episode is. Okay. This is in God's hand or whoever you believe in. Okay. But we attempted to listen to this, to record this episode, and it didn't work out. So we scrapped probably 5 minutes of gold. Okay. And by 5 minutes of gold, 5 minutes of silver. And if we're being really honest, 5 minutes of cubic zirconia. Okay. 5 minutes of copper that a homeless person might steal from a job site. Okay. Isn't it kind of crazy? You ever seen the movie The Gray with Liam Neeson? It's basically it's taken with wolves. Okay, Liam Neeson has, I think, in his contract that he needs a particular skill in every movie that he does. No matter what it is, Liam Neeson, it's required for every movie that they just give him a random skill. It doesn't matter if it's a rom-com. He's just like, okay, what is my motivation here? They're like, well, you're just in love with this girl. You're just going to pursue her, and we're kind of just going to follow you along for the adventure. And he's like, well, maybe I used to be like a translator for the CIA. And they're just like, okay, Liam, you're kind of a big deal. You know, I think even Star Wars with Jar Jar Binks, he had a particular skill. He just happened to be a Jedi Knight. Liam Neeson doesn't do a movie. He won't even show up for an audition unless he can murder you with his hands or his mind or a lightsaber. That's just how Liam rolls. Okay. Anyway, I digress. The Gray is a movie where his job is to protect workers from wolves while they're on a job site, like in Alaska. So there's wolves, and he's just like a big game predator, because that's what you do. Okay. You just sign up to be like, I don't know. If you sign up to be like a big predator hunter, like you want to just strictly hunt wolves, like that's one click away from being a serial killer, that you just want to kill wild dogs. Your thing is like, I want to do this, but I need to find a way to legally do it. And you just become the guy in job sites in Alaska that kills wolves that try to fuck with the men while they're doing construction. So that's the plot of the movie. Okay. Is he just, and the movie, if you haven't seen it, it is a great movie. It's one of me, dude, listen, I'm a dumb guy at the end of the day. There's movies that just like, I can't help but like them. On paper, I go, I'm going to like this no matter what, because dumb guy. Okay. I just rewatched John Wick last night. Okay. I was with it for the whole time. I was watching John Wick, and this is how dumb I am. I started going, I wish somebody would kill my dog. I wish they would do that. So then I had to be John Wick. But then, like, what? You follow through this whole movie of John Wick. There's just there's a hotel in the middle of the city that all these just assassins are just walking amongst us all the time. Just, oh, I have a gold coin. No one ever just randomly tries to check into this movie, and they're just like, yeah, we're filled up. And they're like, I hear gunshots coming from inside this place. Anyway, I've digressed off of the digress. Liam Neeson in The Gray is his job is to what? So going back to my initial thing with copper, homeless people love copper. Is there a dude? How do you get the job of just the guy who walks the job site at night, metaphorically taking out the homeless people? Okay, where your job is just to guard the job site at night from the homeless people trying to steal copper. Homeless people in copper, they're pretty much vampires. They come out at night into job sites, and you gotta have a crucifix and holy water. And the holy water is just regular water. You just hit them with a spray bottle, and at the thought of hydration, they go and they run off. You know, what is the opposite of asking for change, dude? That was one of my favorite moves to do on when I was loitering outside the mothership, signing up for the mic a lot, maybe 2 years ago, with all the other psychopaths. And the homeless people, I got so used to like certain homeless people way more organized than you guys think. And listen, I can talk about this because I live it, brother. Listen, you become weathered to homeless people when you see them when you walk amongst them. You ever seen in The Walking Dead where they cover themselves in the zombie intestines and everything, and they just walk with the homeless people or with the zombies downtown? That's what I do when I go downtown Austin. I walk amongst them, and I'm one of them. I'm Rick, dude, and I'm like, this is so dumb. We're all here. But anyway, I got so used to seeing familiar faces of homeless people, I would reverse engineer them and I'd literally make them do a factory reset. Some of them stopped being homeless and just went home because they would ask me before they can come up and ask me for $1. There was always this lady, she would ask for $1. When I would see her coming, I'd step to her judo, and I'd go, you got $1? Can I have $1? And she would go, no. And she would just keep walking. She would just like, you'd see the system reset, and then she'd be like, I got to start over. It's like, it's crazy. Some of them, and they say things. Homeless people are like, if you ever played like The Sims or something, they're just like an NPC doing like, you could talk to them, you could engage, but they're going to say their thing. Like when you get too close to them in a tavern, you're playing like a video, like an open world explorer video game, and you just hear just like, the devil's coming. Like if you're playing Diablo or something, you ever got too close to a townsperson, and then you just hear them say some creepy shit like, it's been dark and they're around here right now. And then you're just like, okay. And then you just keep walking. It's the life I live. I live as an NPC in Batman's world is what I realized. Like I'm just going doing my own side quests through Gotham City, riding lime scooters through Gotham City. Okay. Listen, that's another thing, an underbelly of Austin, Texas that no one really talks about. People talk about it, but the resurgence of scooters in my life is something I never had on my bingo cards as a man in his late 30s. Okay. I never thought I would be riding a scooter so much and get so proficient at it. Okay. I have the app. I'm pretty loyal to Lime, even though Lime really fucked me this Saturday night. Okay. Not something you really hear a lot, but I use the Lime app. You can park, and then, because that's the thing, is sometimes it is like The Walking Dead, just even from a traffic standpoint. And it was ACL this past weekend, but so going into the heart is crazy to do it with your vehicle, because sometimes it's just parking. You still have to park away from the venues that you're going to be performing at. And so what I like to do is I like to park on the east side of the freeway, because then when I'm done with my night, I hit this, there's this little street I park on. I hit this U-turn and I get right on the freeway and I'm out of town, dude. I live like 25 minutes, 30 minutes outside of Austin. It's perfect. I drive into the madness. I go out to the countryside. I live there with my family, okay, far from where the zombies are. But I park there and I look on the app. Oh, there's a Lime scooter a block away. I walk that block, dude. No Lime scooter. Ghost scooter, if you will. And then I'm hoofing it. And here's the bad thing. You don't want to necessarily be hoofing it, okay, through Zombie Alley. Okay, you go underneath the freeway, you gotta pay the toll to the trolls. They live under there. There's bushes where they've strung up their own little camp things, and they come out and they do things like telling me a riddle. And I'm like, I don't want to tell you a riddle. Like, what? You want a riddle? And then you just got to keep going, dude. And there's a little bridge. And then sometimes you get into some dark areas when you start crossing over into the heart. It's like the Badlands, okay? There's Tuscan Raiders, and it's nighttime. They come back in numbers, and you start hitting a certain part. Because if you want to hit the shortcut, you got to be on a Lime scooter because they can't keep up, okay? They don't even go after you because they don't even see you truly. You're a passenger, okay? It's like riding on the eagles in The Hobbit, okay? You're just over everything. And but if you're on foot, you can hear them coming. They just like the Tuscan Raiders, okay? And they're stronger in numbers. But then I was having to hoof it, and then I see a Lime scooter far away. Your boy starts jogging a little bit to it, briskly jogging. You also don't want to alert them too much, okay? And then I get to this Lime scooter out of battery, and I go, oh shit, you have forsaken me, okay? And then luckily I went a few blocks further, getting close to where it's going to be a problem for me to get to my next show. And luckily I found one that I was able to get on and ride to the venue, okay? And it's just kind of crazy, the amount of scootering I do as a grown man on the weekends. And can I be honest with you? It's the best thing ever. I love it, okay? I got the wind in my hair. I don't have a care in the world. Sometimes I like to do it stealth because I go by people on sidewalks and I hit them with the bell. Bring, bring. Because that's what you're supposed to do, is just let someone, hey, I'm coming up on your right. Bring, bring. And I do that. And I had this guy freak out. He threw his arms up and everything and like jumped away from me and then just stared at me. And I couldn't help myself, but I went, and I went, my bad, dude. And he just stared at me like he wanted to fight me. But the problem was I was going about 15 miles an hour, which right by him, dude. You can't keep up. Okay. But that's just something, that's just a little, I digress. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. I don't even know how we got there. And listen, this is just the world I live in doing comedy in Austin, Texas. That's just the stakes, okay? You got to pay the toll if you want to live in the big city of broken dreams, according to YouTube documentaries. The landscape of what people think Austin, Texas is with comedy is something, it's been you study it, okay? Because a lot of people, they see the Austin, Texas comedy scene on YouTube. They think it's just the craziest right-wing comedians. They're thinking that people just go on stage and just say these trigger words. And not even trigger words. They're just, I don't know what people think, but you just see things online. And I'll have people I'll talk to every now and then. I'll go to a little gathering, and they're like, what do you think about everybody saying the F word and the R word on stage every show? Like you have to do it. I don't see it. Okay. I've probably heard someone say the R word. Maybe once in the past 6 or 7 months. I mean that, and I see comedy 5 nights a week, multiple shows. I don't see it. Okay. I don't see these things that you see on the internet. And it's kind of these things of, and if you're just a listener of this, you probably don't even know what I talk about or what I'm talking about. There's this whole movement online of thinking that like Joe Rogan and his buddies, Joe Rogan and his conservative comedian friends have like ruined Austin, Texas. I don't see that. Okay. I don't know Joe. I know probably a couple of these conservative friends that they're talking about. It's only, you have to look at it as just getting stage time and repetitions. When everybody first moved here, the hype was so high that you think that you hit a new normal with selling tickets. And if you're producing there, even the last few years, you could like make a living just doing comedy if you just know how to produce shows, which is just crazy to not have a following, not have a real audience. But people were just so hungry for comedy in Austin because there was so much hype of it. And I think what's happened is there's a lot of people that don't like certain comedians, or by nature, comedians can be jealous or weird about things. And they just were waiting for an opportunity to just talk shit about Austin. But I think truly, like comedians from other places, they come here, they hit me up to do shows, and they're great. I don't have any problem with comedians from anywhere. I think the whole problem with comedy and things is everybody sees what other people have, but don't see what their work that goes into it. I think it's with everything in any walk of life is you look at things that people have and you go, oh, fuck them, dude. I don't have that and I want that and they're a hack and blah, 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 blah. But you don't know what they've done and sacrificed, and everything is different. And I think the biggest thing that works for me, because I'm in a comedy area where people who have been doing it for a year, 2 years, just they're skyrocketing. And you start thinking that's the path. You have to get this viral thing and blah, 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 blah. When it's not like that. And it's like, you can't look at it of anything of someone else getting something as a reflection of you losing something. And them getting something is a reflection of you not getting that thing, dude. You have to celebrate it, dude. You have to celebrate it and get inspired and motivated by it, dude. There's so many comedians in Austin that I had the pleasure of seeing them at open mics and producing shows with them and everything. That's amazing, dude. Cam Patterson, Casey Rocket, Dylan Carlino. There's so many more that you just see them, and it's amazing to see. You'd love to see good people win, dude. Cam Patterson doing SNL. Cam Patterson is one of the sweetest humans you will ever meet. And he's so cool. And he's on SNL now, dude. And a few years ago, he was just doing open mics and everything. And you have to look at that as just like, dude, he's amazing. And you just be happy for him. Because you start hearing things, people say things, and you just go, ugh, this isn't going to help you do better. Okay. You start looking at what people have, and you think that, and it's like, I think there's a real problem with bitterness. My battery's dying, so this might just end on a weird note. But I think you have to look at what you're doing and the effort you're putting. And I think for a lot of people, if you just do your own thing, if you're trying to pursue something, focus on the actual output and energy. Put that objectively into yourself rather than looking at what other people have. Just work hard. Be happy, dude. This might actually be a 7-minute episode. I don't know what we have. Maybe we'll do 2 episodes to make up for this week. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, be happy, be well, get after it this week. Okay. Go build a birdhouse, dude. I've been getting back to my roots, just building things, and I love it. Your boy loves it, dude. We're going into the holidays, and everybody knows I'm a sweet little cuddly bird at the end of the day. I love the holidays. Okay, I just like to hunker down, eat some sweet treats, watch the Harry Potter movies, and watch the leaves change, and just still get after it. I love you. Goodbye.